In 2002, NASA had a problem. It started in the middle of the night, far away, in a small, quiet town in western Virginia called Blue Bay. The kind of town that young men dreamed of leaving and old men dreamed of dying in. But they had one thing, this town. They had a telescope. And working late, on their second dose of caffeine, a scientist was looking through it, surveying the usual terrestrials and gas giants in the outer reaches of the Milky Way. And that's when they saw it. You see, they were staring out at a planet named Hexa b. Hexa b was a terrestrial desert planet, larger and hotter than Mars. So what they were currently seeing was not physically possible. There was a mark, as if a line was being drawn on the planet's exterior the size of a pinky finger. Of course, if it was the size of a pinky to the scientist, it was the size of a continent on Hexa b. And the gash was spreading, one finger at a time, as if it was consuming the planet, little by little, impaling it from the inside. And it was growing at a rate unheard of by the scientist, his mentor, or the supervising researcher at the Blue Bay Telescope Institute. And so the chief researcher was called down from his home in the middle of the night. He thought he might fire both the supervisor and the researcher who woke him, but when the chief arrived, all his thoughts evaporated, and he saw it with his own eyes. Hexa b was dying. Little by little, the light in the planet was being shut out, replaced by a blackened line growing out from its center, impaling the planet like some unholy butterfly. And he did not know why, but a tear fell down his cheek, and then he stood up. He knew this was out of his pay grade. He thought this could be out of anyone's pay grade. And so he called up his peers in academia so they could cross-reference what he was seeing with the numbers in his calculations. And they all got together online. The Croatians, the Koreans, the Canadians. They called it Kali's Mark, named for the young scientist who discovered it, Kali in heart. They didn't realize Kali was also the name of the Hindu goddess of death until after they had named it. And so the titans of academia gathered together to see if the strange email they had received had any weight. And when they finished their own calculations and reinforced the imaging data, they all cried, every single one. And they did not know why. All but one, I should say, because one scientist, a Canadian newly grad, looked through her own telescope and found a discovery that changed the first by 1 billion-fold. They saw the black mark, Kali's mark, but the planet they were staring at was not Hexa b. It was Neptune. They were looking at Neptune. Kali's mark was spreading. Governments were called, operations halted, the world stopped. There's something about a cataclysmic event that can clear a plate, wipe a busy schedule. The leaders from the Netherlands, Croatia, Korea, and Canada put forth a delegation to the UN with a brief of the discoveries they found, and the world moved quickly. An outlet was put out for the news, telling the people not to worry or panic, that the brightest minds in the world were on it, that they would find the solution to Kali's mark. Because if they didn't, the mark would spread. It would leap from planet to planet on its invisible highway until it came for us. But the truth was, deep down, the brightest minds hadn't the faintest clue what was going on. The UN did indeed gather the world's forerunning scientists in astrophysics and chemistry, but all they could feel, all they could muster, was a sense of dread. All they could see was more planets being stained by Kali's mark, tens, hundreds, thousands soon. It was malignant, as if a living, growing disease intent on devouring the universe, on impaling it on that black mark, one planet at a time. That blackness, they knew, would soon find them, and life as they knew it would cease soon after. They gathered all those knowledgeable scientists in space-time and astroscience, but they forgot one. It was one quiet man, watching the news from his cabin in the woods, that stood up from his chair and did something. You see, this man, no, let's imagine. Imagine for a moment, this man was you. You stand up from your chair, and it ricks to a stop. The air from outside shivers the wooden panels on your door, and you know what you have to do. You quickly find your field camera, toss on your equipment, and thrust the door open, braving into the Mexican wilderness. You see, you are a jungle biologist. You spent your entire life away from humans, preferring the company of animals in their stead. And who can blame you? The jungle in the morning, it's stunning. Humans in the morning, are annoying, to say the least. You breathe it in. The Mexican wild is home. The nature, the grass flowing beneath your fingertips, light pouring in from the shaded treetops. You and your camera. All you've ever needed is you and your camera. But today is strange. Something they said on the news. It sat with you. You're no astronomer. You don't know enough about space to dance with those scientists, but you know nature. You're a field biologist after all. And something they said on the news about Callie's mark reminded you of something you saw on patrol last night. You dive through the nature around you, running past it with all the strength you can muster. You know these trees. You know this jungle. Nature is everything to you. And so you run faster, harder, stronger. You could be wrong, probably wrong, but if you're right, you cut through the hedge in front of you. And there it is. A bird. Black and white feathers, and a sharp beak with a curve. You watch the bird for a while, perching on its branch, when it moves and lunges out towards the beetle, and it grabs the beetle in its mouth, drags it across the jagged branch, and impales it on a spiked tip. You take a picture with your field camera, run back to your cabin and reach your phone. You don't know a lot of people in academia, but you do know one. Your old friend Callian. 10 hours later, a helicopter lands in a field outside the jungle waiting for you. 2 suited men size you up and take you inside. You try to talk to them, but they hush you quiet, and a mask goes over your head. For the next 16 hours, you're tossed, turned, and flown somewhere you can't see. And when you wake up, you're in a grey room with nothing surrounding you but flat walls, and in front of you is Callian Hart, the scientist who discovered Callie's mark. He eyes you for a while, and then looks down. "Tell me everything you know," he calls out, and you smile. "You don't seem pleased to see me," you reply. And Callian frowns. "I haven't seen you in 18 years. God knows where you've been." "Living," you reply. "I've been living." He turns his head. "Tell me what you know, and maybe you can actually do something meaningful for once, apart from hiding out who knows where." He stares down at you. What would she think of you now? Your smile fades, and you clear your throat. "I'm not sure if you've read the paper I sent in, and you'll have to forgive my English. I haven't spoken it in a while. But the bird I study, the bird I've been studying for years now, the picture I sent to you, we call it the Shrike. They're hunters, apex in their skies, hailing from the Mexican jungle and preying on smaller mammals like voles and amphibians. And they hunt in the strangest way I've ever seen a mammal. They impale their prey from the inside, using their metal-like beaks to drag it into a spike." Callian shifts in his seat. "And you think that could be what's happening in space?" he asks you. You smile. "Nature is nature. I've always found it likes to repeat itself." Callian eyes you for a beat. "How do we stop it?" And you turn. In the jungle, the Shrike needs to be approached with stealth. It's far too smart for anything else. And Callian nods. "How do we find it?" You shrug. "Stop looking for the mark, and start looking away from it." He thinks for a moment, then nods, reaches out his hand. "And welcome back. We'll need all the help we can get." A few hours later, you stand in the command room, surrounded by the best scientists in the world, and you're staring out at the most detailed space imaging you've ever laid eyes on. In front of you is a terrestrial, sand-orange planet, but the curious thing is that the planet is healthy. Standing at the head of the group of scientists, Callian Hart paces and points up. "That," he says, "is the one planet for 1,000,000 light years unaffected by Callie's mark. Its name is Hyperion, the Greek god of the sun," you whisper to yourself, "and the largest planet left that we can study. In short," he eyes the gathered scientists, "it's our only hope. The problem is that our current astronauts, while extremely intelligent, are not the world's best researchers. Even if they could arrive there, they couldn't know how to synthesize what they found into something that could save us before the mark reaches Earth." "And when is that?" the scientist calls out. 100 days, he replies. "It's exponential at this point, and so we don't have long. We can't send the astronauts, they don't know enough of the science." However, he looks out then, to all of you. You all know the science. Some gasp as they realize what he's asking. "It's a one-way trip," you whisper. "That much hydrogen propellant. We don't have it. Not nearly. We might be able to just barely make it, but the passengers won't be coming back. All you'll have to do, he says, is send us back the data you receive by waves, and pray to whatever god you believe in. So, he rests his voice for a time. Who will go? And then you watch them, the best scientists in the world, as they think of their wives, husbands, children, and they turn their heads. They turn away. You laugh to yourself, of course they would. Beakers and test tubes are colder things. A woman's hands are warm. It's silent for a while. Callian frowns. Is this truly the best we have? The best of humanity? He raises his voice. Earth will turn to dust if we do not stop it. Your families, your homes will burn to ash, falling down on you. Is there none among you brave enough to abandon yourself for the cause, for science, for humanity? What about discovery? It's silent as a vacuum. Then you reach down on your chest, feel the necklace hanging down there, and you stand up. Discovery, you whisper. Discovery is a privilege, not a right. Everyone turns to you, the only one among them who didn't even study astronomy. You clear your throat and meet their eyes. I'll see what's up there, and I'll send it back. Callian and his team prepare you for your journey, along with the other few volunteers who tossed their name in the ring after you said yours. By day, you study the effects of gravity on the skin. By night, you feel them firsthand. In NASA's high-energy simulation tube, you feel every uncomfortable way that space will bend and tear at your body on the trip. Callian keeps his distance personally, even after your training sessions. It makes sense though, after what you did. 30 days. You have 30 days for you and the other 3 to be space ready. After that, you're up there on your own. After the first 30, the vacuum feels like mud to your touch. It's hard to move in. You don't have your bearings, but it's not all that bad. You're natural, they tell you. Of course, it helps having the world's foremost researchers in every field to teach you. But they tell you that you're natural, and so you'll take what you can get. After the second 30, the vacuum feels like water. You devour the texts, the readings, the teachings. Space will be your new home, your final home, and so you do your very best to see it gladly. But Saturn just got taken by the mark, and Mars will soon follow. Earth will be impaled if you don't stop it, and you're the only person who can. You grind, you study, and in the final 10 days, the vacuum is the air. There's little difference for you. You and your crew are ready to do this, to journey to planet Hyperion. All you need to do is arrive there and let your brains and muscle memory do the work. You'll be put to sleep the entire journey, so it will feel like an instant for you, though it will take many light years. It's cold on launch day. You walk up to the ship, but strangely enough, your heart isn't beating hard. Your hand isn't shaking at all. The others say goodbye to their families on the towers, but you just walk forward until you feel something at your arm. You turn and see Callian, red stains under his eyes. The man himself. He eyes you for a beat. Tell me that you're doing this for Earth, he says. Tell me you're doing this for the good of mankind. You smile softly. Would you believe me if I did? He lets you go, and you walk up to the ship. You turn around and take a last view at the planet you thought you'd die in. You can feel the other astronauts trembling beside you. Brave men and women. If only you were like them. If only you had a reason to live. But at least you 4 will be some of the only people who ever survived Earth. Some part of you thinks that's a very special thing indeed.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Launch isn't like training. The blast of the hydro propellant can never truly be simulated, not like this. It feels like the Earth has erupted beneath you, like a plane diving to death, only upside down. The rig shakes around you. The others clutch their seats, but you're prepared for this. They close their eyes, but you keep them open. Your eyes blur as sun passes to cloud, then to black, then silence. The hydro fuel still burns, but you can't hear it. You can't hear anything. Your ears might have popped on departure, it matters not. Soon, you'll be asleep, and when you wake, you'll be on Hyperion. You'll send them back the data, they'll save themselves, and then you'll die. Your eyes grow heavy, your mouth trembles. Wait for me, you whisper, and black takes you. You're running through the Mexican wild. Grass beneath your feet, wind at your back, you're home. The birds sing, clouds soar overhead. You're alone. You've always loved being alone. Nature is your lover. The trees, the birds, the leaves, you run harder. Jump faster, play, learn, grow, but wait, you're not alone. Your hand, there's someone holding your hand. You're in a black church, surrounded by others all wearing black, and you're all sitting in front of a photo. A young woman, tears are coming down your face. Priest speaks to you all. She was a brave soul, he calls out, the finest astronaut the world had ever seen. She may be missing, and the stars up there, but she's never forgotten. You're back in the forest. This time she's with you, smiling at you. Lauren, she calls out, wait for me, but you don't wait. You never waited. Why didn't you wait? It was your fault. It's always your. You wake up to beauty. Space before you dawns a resplendent morning and you bask. It's a darkness like you've never seen, and hovering around like gods in their domain lies a garden of planets. It's beautiful, but the planet before you is not Hyperion. It is Mars. You look around, and you're the only one awake. The others are still asleep in their cryo chambers. No, this can't be, no. No, you woke early. The machine, it must have malfunctioned. Someone must have missed something. You shouldn't be awake. You're light years away from Hyperion, and you can't go back to sleep. You look around, swim through the zero grav, and reach the ship's main command bay, and you go pale. God's above. It's leaking. Something has gotten into the hydrogen fuel. You won't make it to Hyperion, you won't even make it halfway. You remember your studies, call upon them now. Take up some loose paper. The problem is the heat. The fuel is too hot, and there's nothing to stop it. You scratch some calculations down. It's leaking excess. It's in the reaction. You need coolant. You brush your chin, and then you turn to the 4 cryo chambers behind you. The only coolant for light years, and also the only thing keeping the other astronauts alive. You take a breath and stand up. You know what you have to do. I mean, they were always going to die. You consider waking them, but no, it's best if they stay asleep in their own dreams, like you were, forever. You slowly but surely unplug each of their machines, watch their heart monitors slow to a crawl, then a line, and you flow the coolant through the ship's lines and restore the fuel. After it's done, you think to have a funeral for them and keep their bodies, but you're a scientist. They're not worth the wait. And so you flood them out of the fuel bay and leave the bodies to the black of space. You lie in your bed on the ship. Even if they're accurate, you'll make it to Hyperion, but only just barely. Oh, and it will take you 35 standard years. You've used all the coolant. You'll have to do them awake. You'll have to live them. A week later and your mind is already leaving you. The ship barrels on through the black of space. Stars explode around you. You reach out. It's just like the jungle, you realize. It's all the same, all beautiful. And you are doomed to watch it. Doomed to be alone. Surrounded by beautiful things that you could not touch. Beautiful things that you could never touch again. Perhaps that is a beauty in itself. You eat the dead passengers' supplies to keep yourself alive, and go through their pictures of their families to try and make yourself feel something. But your mind, you can't stop what's happening. After the 5th year, your mind is nothing, you're floating. Zero grav feels better than standing. You can't even remember what it was like to be standing, to have gravity. All you do is float, and bask, and eat, and live, and miss her. You've always missed her. That's why you came here, you know it. You can't lie to yourself anymore, you need her. Why did she want to be an astronaut so badly? What was up here that was so interesting to her? That's what you wanted to see. That's why you accepted this. Was it really worth it? To never see you again? How could you and Callian let her go? 35 years later, the ship is clattering. Your calculations are off by a hair, and the hair in space is death. You did it wrong, the ship won't make it. The hydrogen is heating up again. You can't stop it. 12 clicks out, the engine bay explodes. You're safe in your suit, but that's all you have left. The ship is gone. You're a lone astronaut flying through the void. You reach out a hand to the grass, the earth, nature, silence. It's cold, but her hands would be so warm. If only you could find her, see her again. You close your eyes shut, imagine her voice as you float, as you swim. Lawrence, she calls out, wait for me. Lawrence, wait. Lawrence. You open your eyes, and in front of you is Hyperion, the terrestrial planet. Your goal, the only planet uncorrupted by Kelly's mark. In front of you now, it's like something holy, the eye of God staring down at you. A lone scientist drifting before it, head bowed in awe. You feel beneath your shoulder. It seems, subconsciously, you kept it. That small drone ship. The drone ship you're meant to send back to Earth with your theory. the knowledge that could save them, you kept it. But that's strange. You don't care about Earth, you don't care about anyone. All you want is her. So why? Why did you reach for it before the ship blew apart? You look down at the god's eye at Hyperion and activate your suit's propulsion systems. You don't need to run this time. All you have to do is wait and let the atmosphere take you. And you reach out your hands. Re-entry should kill you. It will kill you. Your arms are engulfed in the fires of atmospheric passage like the feathers of an angel falling down from burning heaven below you. The rages of Hyperion's desert sweep out. It's so large, 10 times the size of Earth. You dive deeper, let it take you, and then unexplainably, you land. You feel the dirt in your face, on your hands, brush off your knees, and you stand. Your suit is telling you the atmosphere is similar to Earth's, and so you take off your helmet and breathe in warm. It's so warm and flat for miles. You look around, but you can't wait. There. You look closer. Mountains. There's mountains in the distance. You lug one foot over the other and start your march. Your hand tingles, your knee quakes, but you march on. You feel for your hand and there's someone holding it. You look to her. Nothing. No one. You march on. Nature rages around you. The sandstorm behind, still you march. You've always marched, hidden away while she died. All you did was hide. When she launched to the stars, all you did was hide. You squeeze the drone ship tighter. If this will be the last thing you do, let it not be hidden. You scream out, though none can hear. Amelia, you rage into the void. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. And then you notice it. You're getting smaller. Your hands softer, your breath fuller. Is this? No. You don't know how, but you're certain time is going backwards. But that's not possible. Every step you take, you're younger. But by all scientific metrics, that shouldn't even be. You look up, what is going on? And you fall to your knees. Feel your arms, they're so small. It's like you're a 12-year-old. It's like you're a child now. And then you see them, those things in the distance. They're closer. And you pale because they're not mountains. They're trees. Trees made entirely of metal and growing out like spikes in the earth. You never knew trees could look so cruel, so wrong, and so many. It's like a labyrinth, aging you backwards. But why? You walk between them, looking up at the strange metal forest. What's that? You look closer into a branch. No, your eyes are playing tricks on you, though. No, that can't be. That's a person. Not a human, but something. Life. Alien life. You couldn't be sure, but there it is, impaled on that branch. You almost dropped the drone ship, impaled, like a Shrike. No, you start to run through the forest in your 10-year-old body, harder now, and then you see them. More beings, creatures, life, alien, unique, resplendent, all impaled on the bands of the metal forest like meals. And you fall to your knees again. If there are meals, then there must be a footsteps sound behind you. And you look up to see a being composed entirely of metal, rippling and contorting like the metal is alive. It's living metal, vaguely humanoid in form like some guardian of death. It flickers, and it's in your face, so fast you whisper. Large red eyes turn your way, and you find yourself hypnotized by the dance of light within the multifaceted prisms there. Not merely reflected light, but a fierce, blood-bright glow which seems to burn within the creature's barbed skull and pulse in the terrible gems set where God meant eyes to be. You look closer. Razor-sharp thorns marked all over the figure, like beaks, ready to impale. Some spread out from its body, all throughout the forest, diving up, and even extending out of the atmosphere. The invisible highway. You realize it. This is the Shrike. The entire galaxy. It's doing this to the entire galaxy. You look up and see thousands, no, millions of life forms upheld on trees above you, around you, trapped in their childhood forms, suspended in eternal agony. And all of these are the people who came here and tried to stop it. The Shrike holds out its metal hand, the very antithesis of nature, its entropy, its disorder, the planet. The fact that it was unaffected, it was destroying you here. The universe is already lost. All this was is bait. You're the beetle, and you look up to the Shrike. You drop the drowned ship, and you're impaled. And you glance at a tree in the near distance, and you see her there, Amelia, not as you knew her, but as a child, like you are now, smiling, waiting for you to join her. You reach out your hands and let the blackness take you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's inspired by the Shrike, a beast from Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons. I'll be clear, I've taken a great deal of creative liberties in this story, so please disregard any accuracy. But in Hyperion Cantos, the Shrike is a powerful, time-bending creature made entirely of metal with the ability to inflict a great deal of pain. The Shrike was a formidable combatant. Its many thorns and blades allowed it to effortlessly eviscerate and dismember virtually any opponent, and it often chose to do so in an extremely gruesome and painful manner. I have some merch I'm releasing that will be out along with this video. I made a few pieces in a very small order. It's like a collector's item for those of you who'd like to support, and just in time for the Christmas season if you're interested. Please check them out in the link in the description below. If you'd like to hear more, remember the story continues on Patreon, where I post exclusive content like scripts, stories, and discounts on the things I do. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed, and thank you so much for listening.